how's it going? Dan Shinder here on Drum Talk TV on Dan's almost daily vlog. Someday I'll tell the story of how I came up with that. But for now, we have a really cool show for you. I have a really cool show for you. And yeah, the year's flying by already. Can you believe it? It's January 4th. And this weekend, Drum Talk TV turns 11 years old. Wow, I can't believe that. And we have something special coming for you this month. Lots of things, but we'll get into that this weekend. Right now, I want to give a nod to 4 amazing, iconic drummers. You can see it in the post text, but I'm going to show videos and ask some questions, break down some stuff, give my takes on some stuff, and would love yours. Tell me where you're watching from. I'm all bundled up because it's kind of cold here, and my wife's a little tight with the heater. Well, a little tight. She's actually got a lead box bolted to the wall over the thermostat and hid the remote for it. So I'm on my own there. We live in Globe, Arizona. That's where my office and studio is. That's up in the mountains, about 100 miles east of Phoenix. And there's snow on the foothills around us. It may snow like properly in our yard and the house this weekend, but I didn't expect it. I had to go out for something earlier and saw that there was snow and the little hills around us. We're at about 4,000 feet. So where are you? How's it going? How are you? How's your year going? And if you're not a drummer, I think you'll also enjoy this, especially if you already follow Drum Talk TV because you're just a weirdo who likes watching drummers. No. Maybe you just enjoy really good music and there happens to be drummers involved, right? So let's just dive into it. I'm going to start first with Max Roach. Max freaking Roach was one of the, is he freaking because he was freakishly an influence on one of the biggest rock drummers ever and doesn't get a lot of credit for that. And it might have been because of the sign of the times at the time or something when this drummer broke out in the late 60s, but Max was born January 8th or 10th, it's kind of unclear, in 1924 and passed away in August 16th of 2007. And the video I'm going to show, if you're really familiar with John Bonham's, I give it away. There you go. If you're really familiar with John Bonham's solo playing, particularly on Moby Dick, the original version on Led Zeppelin 2, as well as the solo in The Song Remains the Same movie or the real original soundtrack on vinyl, or some of the stuff from his solo, if you've seen any bootlegs from Moby Dick of 1977, the year I saw them, you'll recognize some of this stuff. So I'm going to pull that video up first, and then let's talk about it. And I'm going to pull my little monitor up down below so I can see if comments come in. So go ahead and chime in. Tell me where you're watching from. But dig this. Watch this build into something that's got to sound familiar to you if you're used to Bonzo's drumming. Check this out. Even that very light touch, the finesse. You know, a lot of people think John Bonham was just a basher, but if you really pay attention to Bonzo's drumming in his solos, there was a lot of this light finesse. And what Max is doing there is partially going to morph into what's known as John Bonham's bucket of fish. No one at the time was doing anything like this but Max. There's some Bonzo right there, too. There you go. So many drummers did that after Max. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Oh, there he goes with some hi-hat action. There you go. I just love that stuff. It's just so groovy, and it's got that pause, start, stop, stutter, start. Just dig that groove. It's so cool. Rick Davis, how are you, my friend? Thanks for chiming in. Where are you? And let's see, Neil Van Verde. I don't think that's where you are. I think you might be tagging someone. I'm not sure. But Max played with Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, Duke Ellington, Thelonious Monk. My wife's mother lived a few doors down from Thelonious Monk in the Bronx way, way back when. Isn't that bizarre? Imagine the stuff she heard through that door and the smoke coming out from under the crack of the front door in the hallway. I can only imagine. Abby Lincoln, Dinah Washington. Oh, Charles Mingus, one of my favorite jazz greats. Billy Eckstein, Stan Getz, Sonny Rollins, and many, many others. What a huge influence Max had on jazz drummers of the time, big band drummers, swing drummers, but also many, many rock drummers to come. Our next icon that we're going to give a nod to is the great Roy Haynes, who was a huge influence on Billy Cobham. Billy talked about that in one of the documentaries I did with Billy a few years ago. Roy was born March 13th, 1925. He'll be 96. No, I'm sorry, he'll be 99 this coming March. 99 this coming March. 99 this coming March. I don't know if he's still playing, but I do know he was playing up to at least 92, 94. Just amazing. So before I show that video, this video I'm going to show is he was 80 in 1980. No, I'm sorry. He was 87 years old. I'm going off notes. See, this is why I don't use notes, because I can't follow them. He was 87 and still played into his 90s, as I mentioned, and his unique style earned him the nickname of Snap Crackle. What a cool nickname, right? That was in the 50s. He played with Sarah Vaughan, Charlie Parker, Stan Getz as well, and Chick Corea as far back as 1968, and even the Allman Brothers Band. Talk about diversity, right? Talk about a utility man as far as genres. And one of the things I love about this solo is he comes out in front of the drums and tap dances. Long before I saw this solo, I wanted to do that. And the funny thing about that is I'm not a dancer. My wife will tell you, I am not a dancer. Not that I dance terribly. It's not my thing. I don't dance unless I'm sliding around in the kitchen while I'm cooking and there's music blasting in my socks. That's dangerous, by the way. Or slow dancing with my wife. There she is right there. Other than that, so that was kind of weird, but I did a big band swing CD of classic rock songs back in 1999, and that was part of my idea for the performance for my solo. I'd come out and tap dance of all things. So let's watch someone really do it, okay? Here's Roy, 87 years old. Dig this. It's fair to say he's pretty much rocking out there. You can see his coat hanging on the cymbal stand or the mic stand boom. Wait till you see him come out and dance. And I'll skip through this a bit. Be patient. It's worth it. Yeah, that's not enough. Watch this. Here he goes. Yeah. 87. Here he goes. This is truly legendary. Dig those pants with the spats. True entertainment, right? Cool. What a legend. Still alive, too. That's just amazing. My next one is personal to me because I have a lot of favorite drum solos. John Bonham's Moby Dick from The Song Remains the Same is absolutely one of my favorites, and it's something I learned over many, many, many years to play note for note with the timpani drums and everything. I did it at our 10-year anniversary show, the whole hands thing. But when I saw this next one, Papa Joe Jones, 1957, this solo is my absolute ultimate solo. Yes, Neil Peart, solo fan. Yes, Carl Palmer, solo fan. Yes, Bill Bruford, Chester with Phil Collins. I mean, the list goes on and on. But this next thing I'm going to show you is my favorite solo that I believe has the most magic and wizardry with sticks, feet, hands, and fingers. It's just amazing. But a little bit about Papa Joe Jones first. He was born October 7th, 1911, passed away September 3rd, 1985. As I mentioned, this solo is from 1957. He anchored the Count Basie band. The Count Basie Orchestra rhythm section from 1934 to 1948. He also played with Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, Lester Young, Lionel Hampton, Roy Eldridge, Chuck Berry, Buddy Tate, Benny Goodman, and John Coltrane. Dude was not lazy. Again, another great utility man playing with just absolute ultimate greats of their time and legends, you know, that just their legend lived on and on. And I'm going to show you something extra about him in a moment. But first, check out my favorite drum solo ever. Here it is. Dig this. Watch carefully. That's just amazing to me. I've tried over and over. I just can't do it. I'm sure a lot of you can. Here's where it gets mystical. Okay, wait a minute. What? Let's watch that again. Dig this. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Watch this again. What the hell is going on there? Rim shots with his index finger. And that smile. That's just insane. I've watched this, I don't even know how many times. I've tried to play that whole finger part and the stick with the rim part maybe a dozen times and just said, F it. I don't have it in me to put in the time and energy to learn it. But one day it might just like click. Who knows? But I just admire that kind of playing that is for a drummer so musical and so creative and so dynamic and getting so many sounds out of each part of the drum kit, especially the snare drum with the snares off. And I don't know if you really noticed just the strength in his fingers to do that. A lot of it reminds me of technique used on these drums, the darbuka, which I'm just learning to play, but I've played on the drums with my hands and fingers my whole life, basically. Again, I've been playing 54 years and from John Bonham, then later Joe Morello, and then seeing this. And it's just amazing to me what he's doing. So I hope you all enjoyed that. So let's see. So Rick Davis says, I met John Bonham 3 times. Wow, I'd love to hear those stories. And Rick Davis says, where's Buddy Rich? I'll look that guy up. I'm not really familiar. So next, I'm just kidding. You know, everyone knows Buddy Rich. Everyone knows Buddy Rich. And Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa, and Louis Bellson were big in the spotlight. And to be quite frank, it's because they were white. It's because they were white, and it's because they came a little bit later. There was more visibility. There was more of drumming on television, whereas these guys I'm showing you were a little bit before that time. And quite honestly, they were black or whatever you want to insert, African American, whatever. My wife is black. We use black. Hope that doesn't offend anybody. Doesn't offend her. She uses it. That's what I'm using. But it's true. They were overlooked in a lot of ways, and often so were those complete bands and artists. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to highlight these 4 amazing gentlemen that had such influence even on people like Buddy Rich, Louis Bellson, and Gene Krupa. So we'll do a special on Buddy again, and I'll have Kathy Rich on again with Greg Potter. We'll do that again sometime soon. So Rufus, moving on to Rufus Speedy Jones, born May 27th, passed away, 1920, 36, sorry. I'm excited, okay? Got me all wound up. He passed away April 25th of 1990, and he worked also with Lionel Hampton in 1954 before being drafted, played almost every Saturday in the service, and later played with Red Allen and Maynard Ferguson's orchestra, Count Basie, and Woody Herman in the mid-1960s, and backed that up with Duke Ellington later in that decade. Again, the pedigree and the experience and the the list of artists that all four of these guys played with is just mind boggling if you put all those artists together. So Rufus, one of the things that gets me about this, his nickname was Speedy, and yes, I know I put Rufus Speedy in quotes instead of just Speedy. I did the graphic. We'll blame Dan. But watch, one of the things I'd like you to watch for is not just his speed, but watch the speed when he does a few particular rolls just on the snare drum of his kit, and how high stroke it is and how quick it is. Again, it's mind-boggling. I scientifically can't figure it out. And I'm sure there's other people that have done it since and can do it. I can't, and that's one of the reasons I marvel at it. And all of that with one microphone and a suit. And all these guys are basically playing in suits. I think Papa Joe Jones didn't have a tie on, but I for the life of me, can't even play with a sweater on, let alone rarely a long sleeve shirt, even if it's outside and it's cold. That's just me. I'm better with just a thong and a dog collar. Just kidding. All right, so let's look at Speedy. This is also just truly amazing. Just pulling up the right clip. Here we go. This is just amazing. Check it out. What? Wait, what? I want to point out those little hi-hat taps. I love how these guys also work in some finesse with the fury. Dig this. I just love this. What? Look at that. Look how wide his hi-hat is open as well. Watch when they show the snare shot, you can really see it. What the heck? I'm sorry. Show me that roll again, Rufus. Watch his hi-hat when he opens it back up. There you go. Look how wide that is. Just way too cool, if you ask me. I mean, for him to do those rolls that almost sound like closed rolls, but they're not, but they're close, probably doubles, right? But with the stick, I wish I had a stick handy. They're all back there. Going above his head, I can't, again, figure out the science to that. In a suit with one mic. Just amazing to me. And I think it's important. I show this stuff, and we post more stuff like this on the Drum Talk TV Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, Vimeo, and sometimes Twitter, and our website, because I think it's important to understand who our heroes admired. So people a lot younger than me, I'm 60, um, people younger than me who look up to people like Nico McBrain, guys in their 70s and whatnot, and understand what they admired and where their playing came from, but also just to see what was going on back then as minimalists. Like I'm a huge kit guy. I've got a 4-piece jazz kit, I got a 6-piece electronic kit, and I've got a whatever 16-piece big blue obnoxious progressive kit. But I love seeing what they can do with just the snare drum and a little tippy tap on the hi hat here and there. Little, it's just amazing to me the stick work. Um, and back then there was no YouTube and stuff like that. Just wasn't on television that much either as well. So even when I was young, there was not a lot to watch and learn from until stuff started to come out on VHS and whatnot. And even then, I didn't pay attention to any of that. I wasn't studying drumming like that. I was listening on records and later cassette tapes and watching in concert and listening by ear and figuring it out. I wasn't smart enough to watch lessons on VHS and whatnot. I took lessons in person for a while, but I just think to look back at what these guys and particularly these 4 gentlemen were doing is just insane. And there's so much to learn there and enjoy, which I just love. All right. Well, there you go. That's our homage to 4 passed on epic greats: Max Roach, Roy Haynes, Papa Joe Jones. Oh, I forgot to show you something else about Papa. I'll show you that in a second. And of course, Rufus, Speedy Jones. So Papa Joe Jones was also a tap dancer. Check this out. Here he is with George Benson and Jimmy Slide. That's Papa Joe Jones. Actually, this isn't the one where Papa's tap dancing. This is the one with Jimmy Slide. Wrong video. Still cool to watch. How's that for a trio instrumentation? Drums, guitar, and tap dancing. So I hope you enjoyed that. Follow what we do on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Vimeo, and tap into www.drumtalktvbrilliance.com and see what's coming. Lots of stuff happening this month. Our 11th anniversary this weekend. I'm sure I'll do something in the studio live, and we'll have some fun with that. And our 10-year documentary is coming out about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Our first 10 years is coming out. Took us 6 months to finish putting that together. Thanks, everybody, so much for following what we do. Happy New Year.